Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Let It Rip Sports Show. I'm your host, Eldridge Bell II, and today we have to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, most people think that the Chicago Blackhawks are going to win this series in 4 or 5 games. I disagree because, excuse me, I feel that these teams are perfectly matched. The one difference between the two teams is the goaltending. Both teams are fast. Both teams are precision based. And what I mean by precision based is that they don't usually score most of their goals. Both teams they don't score most of their goals on the first shot. They score not the first shot, but they score most of their goals based on a guy is in the right position and perfect passing. With the Tampa Bay Lightning, I feel that they have the slight edge in this series because of their goaltending. Ben Bishop is 6'7", and we have a 6'7" goaltender. It's kind of hard to beat him on the first shot. So um, you have to beat him on rebounds. You have to change your whole modus operandi and not be a finesse team. Speaking of the Chicago Blackhawks, you have to be a bruising team. And I feel that that's the only way that the Chicago Blackhawks can beat the Tampa Bay Lightning is be a bruising team, win the battles against the boards, win the puck races, and just physically dominate the Tampa Bay Lightning because the Tampa Bay Lightning they still remind me of of the Chicago Blackhawks. And as much as I want to say that the Chicago Blackhawks will win the series, something is holding me back saying that no, they won't because the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're hungry, they're a fast team, and they mirror exactly what the Chicago Blackhawks do. They're fast, they cut off passing lanes. The only difference is the goaltending. And just as I said before, you gotta be you have to get the rebounds. You have to capitalize on getting your rebounds on the first, second, and third shots. If the Chicago Blackhawks can do that, and I feel that the Chicago Blackhawks are very adept at doing that. They're very adept at changing how they attack opponents because if you look at the Anaheim series, the Anaheim Ducks were a very physical team, and for the first, I want to say 3 or 4 games, they actually dominated the Chicago Blackhawks. But the Chicago Blackhawks were able to alter the game and say, you know what, we can be a physical team too. Um, but just as in this series and in that series, goaltending was the issue. And then once they found out that uh, Frederick Anderson wasn't like the real deal, they kept peppering him and they kept peppering him and they I feel that that was the one weak link for the Mighty Ducks for well, not the Mighty Ducks but the Ducks is that they could pepper him and all of a sudden he would break. With Ben Bishop, I feel that he's resilient. I don't know if that same tactic will work for him, but who's to know? But I feel the one issue that the Chicago Blackhawks can exploit is get rebounds. You have to get rebounds and you have to pepper him with shots. That's the one. That's the way you beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. If you're gonna go for precision and perfect passing, I don't think that's gonna work against this team because they do what you do just as good. And the Tampa Bay Lightning for their keys for them to win this series, I feel that they have to do what they've been doing. Be fast, pressure the defense, and be opportunistic. If they do that for 4 games in a row or 4 games period, they can win the series. But the main the main the main factor they have in their corner is the goaltending. 6-7. Protect your goalie. Don't let the Chicago Blackhawks get second and third opportunities because they will finish those opportunities. So if you can protect your goalie and only have have the Chicago Blackhawks get one or two shots, you'll win this series. But you have to be more physical than the Chicago Blackhawks. That is how you attack them. That's how the Kings, who are my favorite team by the way, that's how the Kings were able to beat the Chicago Blackhawks. They physically dominated the Blackhawks. Now I'm not saying that the Chicago Blackhawks are soft, but you have to pound them. You have to pound their defense. You have to pound their forwards. You have to pound Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Saad. You definitely have to pound him. Make his legs work because that man has some jets out of this world. And you have to pound Patrick Sharp, Desjardins, and etc. You have to make them work for every inch on the ice. That's how you attack the Chicago Blackhawks if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning. With that all said, I feel that the Chicago Blackhawks are going to win the first game, but I feel there's going to be a 6 or 7 game series between the Chicago Blackhawks. And you know what? I'm going to buck the trend and go against the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Lightning will win this series and win their second Stanley Cup victory. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning. They win a series in 6 or 7 games, but they will lose the first game and maybe the second game. But you know, it's a long game. It's a long series. We'll see how matchups happen, but I'm looking forward to this being an entertaining series. So, with that said, please, um, please subscribe to my channel. Please leave suggestions or comments. And as always, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Eldridge Bell II. Thank you so much for watching.